Hi, in today's tutorial we'll be looking at XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is a fairly new lookup function that has been added to Excel. It is able to carry out the task of VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index match and more. XLOOKUP is also able to search rows and column and also return results from column to the left of the searched column. This is something that was unable to be done by VLOOKUP. Let's jump straight into it. I am Jafari, welcome. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. The objectives of today's tutorial is to do an introduction of the XLOOKUP function, explain the 3 required arguments of XLOOKUP, and also explain the 3 optional arguments of XLOOKUP. We will also be looking at 5 examples, with each example being a bit more advanced than the previous. The XLOOKUP function may take up to 6 arguments, 3 of which are required arguments. These are lookup value, which is the data that will be looked up, lookup array, this is where the data will be looked up, and return array, this is where we expect our result from. The 3 optional arguments are if not found, match mode, and search mode. If not found allows XLOOKUP to return a customized message to users in the event data is not available. By default, XLOOKUP is set to exact match mode. However, we can select the different match mode types using the match mode option. And there is also search mode, which allows XLOOKUP to search in different ways such as ascending and descending order. Let's go to our example. In example number 1, we'll be looking at the basic XLOOKUP function. In this example, we'll be pulling employee name based on employee ID information. The information will be pulled from this table here, which consists of employees' data from an imaginary company. This table consists of the following information: employee ID, employee name, age, department, year employed, salary, and vacation days. As is the case with all formulas in Excel, we start with equal. This is followed by the name of our formula, in this case XLOOKUP. And here it is. XLOOKUP may take up to 6 arguments, 3 required and 3 optional. In this example, we'll be focusing only on the 3 required arguments. And our first required argument is lookup value, and we'll be looking up based on customer ID, so we select this cell here, comma. This is followed by our lookup array. This is where Excel will be looking to find our data, and in this case under employee ID, so we select the data under that heading. Our next required argument is return array, and this is where we expect Excel to return our result from. That is employee name section of our table, so we select all the data under that heading. Then we close bracket and hit enter. And here we have it, our employee names being returned by XLOOKUP. Also, among our results are #NA messages that are returned by XLOOKUP. These messages are due to the absence of these ID numbers in our source data table. In our next example, I will show you how to address these messages. Let's get to our next example. In example 2, we will address the #NA messages being returned by XLOOKUP if the data is not available. We can use the 4th argument called if not found to have XLOOKUP return a more customized message to our users. Let's look at how we do that. We can add a fourth argument to our XLOOKUP formula to have XLOOKUP address these #NA messages. This will allow XLOOKUP to return a more customized message to our users. This message could be something like employee ID does not exist, which would be more suitable in this example. Let us do that. And since this message will be text, it needs to be in quotes. And there we have it. Our #NA messages have been replaced by more suitable messages. Now let's go to our next example. In example 3, we'll be looking at pulling data from our current employee data sheet into a separate spreadsheet. This is where we will unlock the power of XLOOKUP. Let's do it. Here we have our employee data table that will be the source of information for our employee salary table. From this table, we'll be pulling employee name and salary to create a table on a separate spreadsheet. So here's our employee salary table, and we'll be pulling information such as employee name and salary. Let's do it. Let's pull employee name data. And our lookup value will be employee ID, so we select this cell under employee ID. Next, we go to our lookup array, and our lookup array will be under our employee ID heading, so we select all the information there. Next, we go to our return array, and this is where we expect our result to come from, and this is under our employee name heading, and we select all the information there. And there we have it, our employee name being pulled from a separate spreadsheet. Now let's pull salary data for same employee. Our lookup value will be employee ID. And our lookup array will be under the employee ID heading. And the data to be returned is salary under our salary heading. Close bracket, hit enter. And there we have it, our salary data for John Abel, our employee. Now let's move to our next example. Now we will take a look at example 4, but before we do, it's important to note XLOOKUP has 4 match modes, 1 exact match mode and 3 approximate match modes, with the exact match mode being the default match mode for XLOOKUP. Match mode is an optional argument, and it is the 5th argument in the XLOOKUP function. Below we have the match modes for our XLOOKUP function. First, we have our exact match, which is selected using 0. Next, we have our exact match or next smaller item, which is selected using -1. Next, we have our exact match or next larger item, which is selected using 1. Next, we have our wildcard character match, which is selected using 2. Exact match or next smaller item and exact match or next larger item. These match modes are especially useful when working with numerical ranges. Let's look at our example where we will be using these match modes. In this example, we'll be looking at the various bonus payouts for the different salary ranges. That is 1% for salaries up to 10,000, 3% for salaries above 10,000 up to 20,000, 5% for salaries above 20,000 up to 30,000, and 8% for salaries above 30,000 up to 40,000, and 10% for salaries above 40,000 up to 50,000. Here to the right, we have a table containing employee ID, employee name, salary, and bonus payout. First, we'll be calculating bonus payout based on employee salary using our exact match mode to see what result we will get. Let's do it. And our lookup value will be employee salary, which is under our salary heading here. Our lookup array will be information in the maximum salary column here. And our return array will be our bonus payout here. We will skip if not found argument and go to our match mode. Let's select exact match to see what result we will get. And a 0 for exact match as shown here. Close bracket, hit enter. And we get our hash any message. We received our hash NA message here as there is no salary in our range here that exactly matches with our salary here. It means we will have to do an approximate match. Let's use our exact or next smaller item match mode. Let's make this change in our formula bar. For exact match or next smaller item, we input -1. And there we have it, 3%. 3% was returned by XLOOKUP. This is because our salary of 23,323 fits between 20,000 and 30,000. However, the smaller number is 20,000, which corresponds to 3%. Hence, 3% has been returned. Now let's take a look at our next larger item match mode. And this match mode is selected by entering 1. And there we have it, 5%. And XLOOKUP has returned a bonus payout of 5%. This is because our salary of 23,323 fits between the salary ranges 20,000 and 30,000. However, with our match mode of next larger item, 30,000 correspond to 5%, hence the return of 5%. Now let's look at our next example. In our final example, we'll be doing horizontal lookup. This is to demonstrate the ability of XLOOKUP to also do horizontal search. Let's do it. In this example, we'll be looking at our bonus payout table, which is now horizontally arranged, and our XLOOKUP function, which will be returning bonus payout based on salary using our next smaller item and our next larger item match modes. Let's do it. Our lookup value is salary here. Our lookup array is maximum salary row here. Note this time we are working with rows. And our return array is bonus payout row here. We will not be using if found argument, so we'll skip that. And our match mode, we will work with next smaller item match mode, hence -1. And there we have it, 3%. This is identical to the result we got in our previous example using a vertical bonus payout table. Now let us try the next larger item match mode. And for that match mode we enter 1 and hit enter. And there we have it, 5%. This is identical to the result we got using a vertical bonus payout table. And this is where we end our video on XLOOKUP. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks. Bye.